Brodes Media.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome on in to Sports Talk with Brodes. I'm aggravated. And I'm aggravated because Happy Brodes only lasted about 24 hours. I was letting my guard down. I was opening up my heart for a playoff run. And then we get hit with the news that Zack Wheeler is having shoulder problems. They now have to push back his start to Sunday, which I'm not sure he's even going to pitch yet until I see it. I don't believe it. And what once was being discussed as one of the greatest starting pitching staffs ever assembled in the history of Philadelphia, which is a huge statement, is now a serious unknown. Zack Wheeler has not looked the same for weeks. Nowhere close to being efficient enough. His location, well, guess what? Pitches are getting nuked. Aaron Nola, still going in Lehigh. Ranger, not elite. And Luzardo can't pitch when one guy gets on base. So what do we have here? The one thing I'll say about Zack Wheeler is this. Back in 2022, they sat him down for a little bit, and we know how it ended. Now, we didn't get the championship, but Zack Wheeler was a workhorse, he was a dog, and he helped you win a lot in the postseason. And he does resemble Bryce Harper in this regard. I bet you right now Bryce Harper is dealing with something physically with his wrist. You wouldn't know it because this is the same guy that can rip bombs when he's got a UCL injury and his bones are barely together. I don't even know how UCLs work, but you get my point. The stuff isn't even attached. All right, it's loose, it's dangling. Yet here's a 415-foot bomb to right field hitting the third deck. If there is someone who could manage through shoulder stiffness and soreness and still have awesome electricity, it could be Zack Wheeler. But I'm still very nervous because that's what was supposed to carry you all throughout a journey. Was your dogs on the bump? Superstars. Bryce, Kyle, Zack Wheeler. Right now, I hate to admit this, but there is one starter that I have all the faith in the world in, and that's Christopher Sanchez. That's insane. That's insanity. So am I hitting the panic button? Kind of. Yeah. I don't know if it's fully pressed down, but it's more than just hovering it. Maybe a couple fingers are touching the top of the button, and a little tiny breeze, a little bit of wind would push my fingers down. He's looked so out of whack, so out of sync. When he reaches back and he tries to throw his pitches, it's like the left part of the plate, his whole body is taking him towards 5 feet off the left side of the plate. I want to react to Rob Thompson, too, because Rob Thompson made some remarks about this. And I want you to listen. The first piece of audio, we have 3 clips for you, is just the initial, here's the news, here's the update, this is what we're doing, and it was the first time we were hearing of it. Take a listen to the manager. Okay. I'm a screw up. We do this every time. What are you going to do? When am I going to learn? Never.
Wheeler came out of his last start a little sore, more sore than he normally is. So we got an image done. It's clean. We're just going to give him a couple extra days. So it's going to be Sanchi on Friday, Luzardo on Saturday, and Wheeler on Sunday.
Where is he feeling?
In the shoulder.
Okay. Are you concerned about that?
No.
Why
Image
not?
was clean.
Okay. Did he come to you guys?
Well, it's through the trainers. Yeah.
Do you think it's affected his command a little bit? I mean, I know in the New York start he was a little.
I think the complete game affected his command.
Okay, we'll get more into the complete game comment in a moment. Let's start with it was clean. The same organization that I was told with San Diego and Alec Boehm, everything was aight. Then he hits the All-Star break. He comes back, and my man hasn't played baseball since. He looked good after the imaging that got done with San Diego or whatever the hell the process they went through, right? Okay. Now, let's get into Aaron Nola. Ankle, back, rib, you name it. It was something different every single day. How did all those, dissections go? Okay. I don't buy it a lick. I don't buy a damn thing they're saying. Really? Think about those two examples I just threw out there. It's as horrific as it comes. That Alec Boehm thing has been a legitimate disaster. And the reason we're not talking about it that much is because Alec Boehm hasn't been that damn good this year. So we're not even really losing much because he hasn't performed at a high enough clip. Because he's not the right-handed stick that batted behind Bryce Harper last season before his wrist got banged up. He wasn't the guy that was smoking doubles and knocking in almost 100 RBI. Regardless on what his batting average got back up to after a really ugly start to the year. He hasn't been that guy. So we barely talk about it because, well, who the hell cares? He hasn't been that much of a difference maker. Aaron Nola? I'm a big fan, but there has been a fear of mine for a while now that I constantly flirt into the mix whenever we talk about this team, and that is him and Wheels. They've been the two workhorses, okay? You go to the World Series because of them two. You have the success that you have as a franchise lately with this core because of a lot of variables, but because of those guys as the 1-2 punch, as the leaders of the pitching staff. It wears you down. It takes a toll. And I'm hoping in a weird way that with Aaron Nola, all this time missed is only going to benefit him because, well, he didn't have to worry about the workload of 200 innings and whatnot. So I was really hoping that was the case, and we'll find out. But his location, Zack Wheeler, has been all over the place. Multiple different starts in a row, consecutive. Getting tattooed and home runs galore. Now, there's still ways to get 10 Ks. There's still ways to go 6 innings, but you are only going to have a chance. When I opened up my heart a day ago and I said, I'm going to be a fan and enjoy some of the positives with this group, it was all predicated off of having these 4 men being special. Wheeler, Sanchez, Bryce, Kyle. You lose Wheels and you don't stand a damn chance. And I'm not telling you you absolutely 1,000% do lose him. But this is not what you want to hear. Just because Rob Thompson says he's not worried doesn't mean that now I'm not worried. Because truth be told, he may have said in that clip, oh, the imaging came back all right, so there's no reason to panic. Yeah, well, how about this one? Take a listen to Rob Thompson on complete games and the damage that is done when a pitcher throws 9 innings. Take a listen.
Do you think any of your pitchers will pitch another complete game this year?
I hope not. It bothers me. It really does. It scares me. That concerns me. And when a guy's got a low pitch count, he wants it. So it's hard to take it away. But I know that there's some effects that are put on the body, on the arm, on fatigue. So I do it, but
That actually pisses me off that he brought that up, because he's admitting that there are real signs when you pitch deep into a game, when you have a pitch count that's 100 plus, when you're going up and down, 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 up and down 9 times, there is information that screams this could be detrimental. Well, you just said it scares you, but yet you're not scared about Zack Wheeler. So it scares you when pitchers throw complete games, but you're not scared about Zack Wheeler, who hasn't looked the same since he threw a complete game. That doesn't add up. The math isn't mathing. You are then, based off of my equation, based off of what you're saying, your logic, and spitting it right back out at you, you are concerned about the current state of Zack Wheeler and his shoulder. Dude, this guy's in his mid-30s. He's been pitching a lot of regular season action. He's been pitching a lot of postseason ball. And now he has shoulder stiffness as we roll into August. Why do you think he wasn't active during the All-Star break? Because he wanted to put his team in the best position. Well, why did he want to put his team in the best position? Because he wasn't feeling good. And he hasn't looked great since. Topper, part of your job as the decision maker is to put these players in the best position possible for their bodies. You got to get out in front of what they want to do. Now, it may be a shitty conversation. It may suck to have to tell Zack, I'm sorry, but you're not getting the 8th. You're not getting the 9th. It's not fun to have that dialogue. You get paid a lot of money to not have the fun conversations. That's the gig. So if you're telling me you have all these stats to back up, it's not a great idea to have a 35, 34-year-old pitcher with a lot of wear and tear on his body to go the 9th, to go 100-something innings in a regular season game, or 100-something pitches, in a regular season, then don't put him out there. You can control that. That's a controllable. There's certain things you can't control. A twisted ankle, busting your ass out of the box and feeling something pop in your leg, anything like that. Those are just injuries that occur when you're playing the game, and it's the next man up mentality and your attitude as a group. All right, we got to rely on someone else. But this is you strictly knowing you hate it, knowing the data supports your logic, and going, I don't want to hurt the feelings of Wheels. You get paid to hurt their feelings in certain moments with big picture in mind. That's why you're the manager. It's extremely disappointing. We have one more piece of audio I need to get to. But first, I got to tell you about my great friends, Amelio Cigars. Old school roots, new school attitude. I'm thinking about right now, later on tonight, kids go to sleep, wife goes to sleep, I'm hanging out with the dogs, and I go out back, I escape, and I light one of these puppies up. Made at the Fabrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. This is the only cigar to smoke. Amelio Cigars. I'm looking right here on my little corner piece that I have in my studio. I got a 4-pack for a foursome to bring out with my buddies when I go golfing. I got boxes and boxes of Amelios. Literally anywhere I go now, I pass these out to my family. I say, take a little how do you do from this. Take a nice fat puff from this. There's nothing that's going to taste better. There is nothing that is going to hit your lips that is better than an Amelio cigar. And you must join me by clicking the link down below in the description, utilizing promo code BRODES10 at checkout for 10% off. Do not be a fool. So whether you're going to a family function, whether you just want to hang out with yourself late at night, whether you want to have a nice morning cigar, however you want to get it done, the beach, you name it, down the shore, those always taste outstanding too. During a Phillies game, oh, are you kidding me? Make sure you're smoking an Amelio cigar. Join the family today. Locally owned, third generation, by the way. Don't know if I said that. Okay, let's take this piece of audio here. from Rob Thompson and play it for you.
If Scott doesn't hit that home run, does he go back out in the ninth?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
No matter what.
Yep. He was going back out. The way he still had his stuff in the eighth. I mean, he was dominant in the eighth. I would have taken him out to 115 pitches.
Hold the hell up. 115? Bro. I'm not talking about the guys who pitched back in 1733 who would pitch 463 innings and then would have, 7,000 innings a year on their body. That makes no sense. But there was once a time where people pitched. I got it. It ain't that time anymore. You're telling me you're so scared. You're walking on all sorts of thumbtacks. I don't know. These sayings suck. I'm doing a terrible job. But in what world is Rob Thompson going to be so nervous about complete games and whatnot and then have the audacity to say, oh, yeah, he's getting thrown back out there regardless, no matter what, even to the point where I'd say, 150. 115? That's a lot of pitches. It's not adding up. What he's saying about the concerns, what he's saying about his ideas and beliefs as a manager is not supporting his actual delivery and the execution of it. Honestly, if he said 103, 104, I'd go, whoa, that's still pretty high. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. He threw 115 out there like it was nothing. No wonder why Zack Wheeler is feeling the way that he's feeling right now. I get it. Zack Wheeler is always going to want to be out there. Zack Wheeler, it's hard to sit him down. He may get frustrated. He may show you a little bit of anger, let's say, in the dugout or whatnot, but it's all for the good. It's all for one common goal, and that's to win a championship. So if he's going to be aggravated with you on an August 5th game, on an August 9th game, on an August 7th game, in a July game, but yet you're the one winning a World Series trophy, and you got that commissioner's trophy, and you're getting past the NLCS, and you're playing deep into October, and he's dominating, then you say, yo, Wheels, I fucking love you. You want to know why against Baltimore this? You want to know why against Texas that? You want to know why against whatever, Minnesota this? I'm just spitballing random teams out of my ass, but this is why. He hasn't pitched 7 complete innings since July 6th. It's over a month ago. July 12th against San Diego. 6 innings. 4 runs. I'm going to spitball at you a couple of his game logs because it's not pretty. Now, they may not be that bad on paper, but we watched these outings. Because, for example, 6 innings, 2 earned runs against the Boston Red Sox in a 3-2 win in extra innings. You go, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. Yeah, but he allowed 7 hits. He allowed a home run. He had 10 Ks. He's going to strike out guys. For example, the following outing against the Yankees on the road in a 4-3 loss, he went 5 2/3 and struck out 8. The problem is he allowed 5 hits and 4 earned runs and walked 2 batters. He allowed 9 hits against the Detroit Tigers, 3 home runs, 3 earned runs. I don't care that he's striking out 10. He does that by accident. That's, oh man, geez, didn't even try and do that. Like that accidentally happens just because of his ceiling and his presence. But are you kidding me? 6 3 earned, 5 2/3, 4 earned, 6 4 earned. This is all since the complete game against the Cincinnati Reds, where he threw 108 pitches. Think about this workload, too. 100, 107, 108, 105, 105, 103. Where's the outing where he throws 91? And you may be thinking, well, what's the big deal? 10 more pitches, 8 more pitches. That's a big deal. Over 5 starts, 10 more pitches. That's 50 pitches less. And that does take a toll. 50 more pitches, that takes a toll. And that's just a 5-game sample size. Multiply that by all of his starts. Now, I'm okay with having 100 plus in some of his starts, but when it's every single time, this is going to be the domino effect. And you know what else is crazy? There was a time where we thought, again, that this staff wasn't just good, wasn't just great, wasn't just elite, special. Some were arguing that this is the most special assembled starting pitching staff in not just Philadelphia history, as I mentioned earlier, which is a big standard, but in the history of Major League Baseball with how some of these guys were pitching when they were not in a funk. Luzardo and Ranger once he came back and all that stuff, right? There was also this idea that Mick Abel could be a big portion of the layers to this staff, and Andrew Painter can help out as well. Andrew Painter, I don't want to see him this season. You hear that? I don't want to see Andrew Painter with the big club this year. You'd be doing him a disservice. If I got to hear a comment that sometimes I throw the baseball and I know where it's going, other times I throw the baseball and I have no clue where it's going to land. Huh? You think that's going to be an effective piece for a postseason run? But that's what we thought about this pitching staff in totality as one of the most dominant. Now you have one guy. And then the other guy's Taiwan, who goes 6 scoreless, and you wonder, all right, your second or third most reliable pitcher right now? There was once a time where we got the best pitcher in the minors, this phenom, this juggernaut who's going to get caught up, and he's eventually going to help out this pitching staff. Dude, I don't even want to see his face in the majors this season. That's how poorly he's been pitching. Now, speaking of Iron Pigs, Aaron Nola pitched yesterday for the Iron Pigs, and he said it felt nice to run around a little bit because, let's say he had to back up a throw. He was, running around the diamond and making sure he was where he needed to be in case there was a poor throw involved, and he just felt good in that aspect. He went 3 2/3 and allowed 1 run with 3 strikeouts. So that's where Aaron Nola is. I got faith that Aaron Nola could come back and actually create a spark for this. And, you need it now. I mean, especially with the current state of Zack Wheeler, you need someone to take the ball and say, let's fucking go. And I do expect Christopher Sanchez to do that. I think he's going to absolutely still be at the top of his game. And the way that he's so efficient, I've never seen anything like it. There are times I look at the box score and I say, oh, they're in the 7th. And I look down and Christopher Sanchez is on pitch 9. And I go, how was he pitching 9? And it's the 7th inning. His pitch count just doesn't make sense. Obviously, it's a 9, but sometimes I go, what the hell? How's he had 66 pitches through 7? What? How's he had 82 pitches through 8? What? It's so damn efficient, whether you get a timely ground ball, whether you get the strikeouts with the changeup, whether it's just not a double play, but just a routine grounder, gets cleaned up and sucked up like a vacuum, thrown over to Bryce Harper. It's unreal. But if you can have Aaron Nola return to hold the fort down for Zack Wheeler, and then you have this consistency up top with your staff still, when you're in a dogfight against the Mets, then maybe you can hold your head above water for a little bit. Here's the truth on where I'm at. And, Zack Wheeler does have a track record of being okay back in 2022 when he was told to just cool the jets and relax and get comfortable and get your body where it needs to be, get your head where it needs to be, get your mindset right, and from there, let's go to war. So there is already sort of a sample size where you watched him go through something very similar, and we went on an awesome journey. But I would be okay, even though you're in a tough battle with this Mets team. I think regardless, with or without Zack Wheeler, this whole you're up 2.5 games and the Mets are free falling, it's it's not just going to be the Phillies run away with it the rest of the way. The Phillies aren't that good, right? They don't sweep teams. They let other teams linger when they probably shouldn't. That's just who they are. They're good. They're not that good, right? They're not, wow, they're such a force and they're so far better than everybody else, including the Mets. No, they're not. They're very inconsistent, and they allow teams to stay closer in the fight than they should. So my point is, whether Zack Wheeler's here or not, I think the Mets are going to retake the lead at one point by half a game. Then the Phillies are going to take a lead by 1.5 games. And then the Mets are going to tie it up. And then it's going to be even. And then you got these 7 games that are going to really swing which way that the NL East goes. It's just going to be a seesaw, as Mark Zumoff would say. And that's just the reality of it. I would be okay with Zack Wheeler taking a chill pill and relaxing. I'd feel worse in the moment because, of course, I want to see him out there, and that would show signs of, hey, it's not that bad where he needs to cool the jets, although it still could be, and they're forcing him out there anyway, which would be problematic and tragic. But I think for the playoffs, it would make me feel better if he relaxed. So in the moment for the backstretch, I wouldn't love it. And I'd start shaking and sweating and getting nauseous because I'd be worried. But if I'm trying to ask myself, what would be the best for Zack Wheeler? So Zack Wheeler could be in his prime time spot, at least as close to the prime Zack Wheeler. Well, this shoulder soreness, it's ugly when he's on the mound. Get rid of that shoulder soreness. And it's been happening for weeks, they say. 3 weeks. This isn't, hey, it just randomly occurred after his last start. We're going to push him back 2 days. This has been going on for almost a month now. And the stats back that up and support that. Like, obviously, of course. Now, I saw a quote from Matt Gelb, who obviously covers the Phils for The Athletic. And the one, let me see here if I can find it for you. The one thing he said was this. I have concern. Anytime you mention shoulder about any pitcher, specifically your ace pitcher, at the top of your rotation, I think there's concern. The fact that he went out there and I watched him play catch Wednesday morning was a pretty decent sign. But I also wouldn't be surprised if on Friday they say he needs a few more days or we're just going to give him a break and he's not going to pitch for 2 weeks. I don't know that that's going to happen, but it also would not surprise me if they say that. That was Gelb on with Kincaid and Salchunas. Would that be what's best, though? Probably. Probably. Now, here's more on Wheeler getting extra rest if he needs it. Is it easier said than done? His quote is, it's not like they have a 7.5 game lead in the division like they did at this point last season. They're up 2.5 right now. The NL is so closely bunched together that every game is really important. You're 1 or 2 games off of being the road team in a 3-game wildcard series, or you've got a bye as the 2 seed in the National League. These games really matter, obviously. Wheeler's health is paramount here, but I think it is a complicated one. Well, here's the truth. You do have to value Wheeler's health more than the division. Because if Wheeler gets you the 2 seed and the NL and but then he's not capable of pitching in the playoffs, then it's irrelevant. Now that's how you have to have this calculated thing played out. But that's the answer. I don't even think it's a debate. Is you need to focus way more on his health than the standing. And then it's on the other guys. It's on Sanchez. It's on Nola. It's on Ranger. It's on Bryce. It's on Kyle. It's on Taiwan. It's on those guys to have Zack Wheeler's back. Because you can't run this guy into the ground to get in and then say, all right, because you got to rely. Either way, you're relying on them. You're either relying on them without Wheeler in the playoffs or you're relying on them without Wheeler in the regular season against some of these AL teams. And obviously, it's not going to be AL teams forever, but think about it. Either way, there's a world where you need those guys to perform in regular season against maybe some bad opponents, teams that have given up, some teams in the second half that already traded off a lot of their assets. I'd rather take my flyer on trying to win those games without Zach than win the ones when you're faced up against the Mets or the Cubs or any of these other threats in the postseason. Well, come on, man. Now, here's another quote. Now, this is a little bit off the Zack Wheeler thing, but it opens up a whoa. and maybe we could get into this at another time as we're about 30 minutes in, but Castellanos has been essentially a league average hitter and one of the worst defenders in the sport in right field. I don't know how they can't look at that spot, especially against righties. His numbers are down. He's hit lefties better than righties. I think it's something that they have to consider as they get a feel for what the best outfield is in the last 7 weeks of the season. Matt Gelb on Castellanos seeing potentially less playing time for the Phillies. So if he's hitting lefties better than righties and he's struggling against well, he's a right-handed hitter, but just saying if he can't perform against righties, is that Max Kepler? Lefty bat? Against a right-handed hitter? Against a right-handed pitcher, excuse me? I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that. I would take my shot with Casty. That's a conversation for another day. Before I let you out of here, here's a conversation for today. Make sure your lawn looks gorgeous. Don't be an idiot. Don't be like me, all right? Because I didn't pay attention to my lawn a lick. Then I sat down with the experts. Then I sat down with the best people in the industry. That is, of course, Green Lawn Fertilizing. Experts in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware, best in the market, so knowledgeable, it's not even funny, and they've created their own custom blend that literally helps your lawn recover when it needs to. And trust me, my lawn needed to, and it's so awesome to see the progress after all the treatments. Hey, Brodes, this is why we're doing this for treatment 1. Hey, Brodes, this is why we're doing this for treatment 2. Hey, Brodes, this is why we're doing this for treatment 3. Really teaching me the way that my lawn is going to progress after each time they stop by. And sometimes they're just like, hey, Brodes, we're going to, if you're around and you don't mind, we're going to come over in about 15, 20 minutes and walk around your lawn just to make sure it's taking the proper, path that it should, and we're just keeping an eye on things for you. Is that okay? Yeah, absolutely, no problem. Hey, bro, if we want to send you a care package because your daughter was just born, and we want to show you we love you. We want to show you that we're family. We want to show you that this is more than just a lawn service, okay? This is a real community. Wow. You're awesome. Thank you so much. These are the type of people that we're talking about over at Green Lawn Fertilizing. The best experience I've ever had with a lawn company, and you need to join me. Right now, they're giving away 50% off your first 2 treatments. That's right, 50% off your first 2 treatments by clicking the link down below in the description, which will take you to their website through my link, Brodes. It'll tell them that I sent you, and you need to get started today because it is a personality change for your house. When it starts to get green, when it starts to get luscious, when it starts to get beautiful, pretty, gorgeous, and you clearly stand out more than the rest in your neighborhood, it's damn, look at that guy's lawn. Damn, look at that. I never paid attention to that until I became a homeowner. Now when I drive by houses, I literally think about it 24/7. And I said, I need that to be my home. And you need it to be yours as well. Make sure you join the Green Lawn Fertilizing family today. With that being said, thank you guys all so much for hanging out. It's a shame that I'm here, but this is where I am. 24 hours after being excited, I am completely devastated. It's Brodes, and don't know why I'm signing off as if this is radio. Totally not that. I'll talk to you guys all on the next one.